Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. So, got a new pickups video for you. So, I went out yesterday, had a look around, went around a few shops, found a couple of nice gems, and thought I'd just do a video and show you what I picked up, because I always enjoy making these videos, and pickup videos are great fun. And yeah, they are actually some of my favourite videos to watch as well. I always enjoy seeing what people have found in the wild. It's always a joy to watch those videos. So I went out yesterday, had a wander around, decided to nip in a couple of shops just to see, as I always do when I'm out, just in case they've got some bargains. So I went to 3 different places. I went to CEX, pretty standard obviously. There's an independent game shop I went to, which is the one I went to in the previous video, which I couldn't remember the name of. It's called Insane Games. And then there's also, I went to Cash Converters, which to be fair is tiny, doesn't have a lot in there. They've got a very small amount of games in there. But I did manage to find one little gem, which I was very happy to find, because it's a game that I love. And I'm very much looking forward to playing that at some point. So yeah, as I say, I had a wander around. The CEX was pretty good this time. There was a lot more Xbox than I normally have. There's 2 CEXs that I go to. This one is the one that has the least amount of Xbox in it. And normally they've got 2 shelves worth, but most of it's crap and they don't have a lot in there usually. This time both shelves were completely rammed. I mean, literally like so tight I couldn't get the games out. They were that tight together. I don't know why they put them in like that. I was literally having trouble trying to force the games out, which was weird. And they had a couple of games that I was interested in, which I didn't pick up. One was Halo. I've got Halo 2, but I haven't got the first Combat Evolved game. So I really wanted to get down and saw it, and I thought, brilliant. I think it's like 150, and I thought, oh brilliant, that's fantastic, great condition, looks lovely. I opened it up, no manual. It just got that, that advertising brochure you get in Xbox games with some of them. It's just got a picture of Master Chief on the front, and then it just advertises Project Gotham and Amped and all the other games. So that was a bit annoying, and I thought, and it's the only copy they had. The only other Halo they had was Halo 2, which I've already got. And then the other game they had was Ultimate Spider-Man, which I can't remember. I think it was like a £5, maybe a £10 somewhere. It was a lot more expensive than the rest of the games. So I thought, well, I'll wait, I'll get that near the end. There's no rush, or if I find it at a car boot and I get lucky, who knows. I'm not in a rush to grab that game right now. So I set those 2 aside, had a look through the rest of the games. Didn't have a whole lot. I managed to pick up 2 games from CEX, so not a great haul. But there were 2 Xbox games I really wanted, and one which I'm very happy to have, which I will explain why when I show you. And so then I went to Insane Games, where we've got shitloads. I mean, they cover every system. I didn't realise how varied they are. But in terms of retro, yesterday when I was looking around the shop, they had PS1, PS2, original Xbox. They've even got, I've never seen this down this end of the country, they had Sinclair, Amstrad, Intellivision, Commodore 64. I was like, Jesus, I've never seen the 8-bit computers and consoles represented at all. So that was quite a shock actually to see that, like big box Commodore stuff. I was like, wow, that's a proper nostalgia. That was really cool. We got a little bit of Dreamcast in there as well. So they've got a bit of everything. It's a really cool little store. And his prices aren't ridiculous either. They're not, over the top like you'd expect in some shops. I mean, I looked at his PS1 stuff. Not far off what you're charging on eBay. So he's not going too high, he's not going too low. It's just about what you'd expect really. So I think some of the stuff you're going to do well, some of the stuff you aren't. I mean, it just depends whether you want to buy them in the wild or buy them online. The Xbox stuff and the PS2 stuff is still like CEX really. It's like 50p, 150, £1, not expensive at all. And then I say Cash Converters, well, it's a tiny shop, hasn't really got a lot in it. So what I'm going to do, I've got all those games to show you. I also picked up a couple of games that I won on eBay the other night. I won an auction, and I'm not really buying on eBay because I don't need to, this disc-based stuff. But the system I bought those games for, as I've had a look around, I think really realistically, there's not a big difference in price, and I don't see them in the wild that often. It was really only in Insane Games was the only place I've seen them so far. So I figure I might as well just, if I want them and I want them in the best condition, I might just buy them on eBay, because it ain't going to be much difference in price. But we'll get to that when I show you what I got. Okay, right. First up, to the original Xbox, because that's the main thing I'm collecting for right now. So I've got 2 games from CEX, as I say. I personally think they're great games. One of them, I think most people would agree with me, is a good game. The other one, I know it splits opinion. So I'll show you that one first of all. And the first game I've got is a third-person action game, which is Brute Force. This is an exclusive to the Xbox. All in nice shape, all complete. So I only ever buy them with the manuals. Got to have them in the, I'm not too bothered if they're, in perfect condition or anything. I just don't want them jacked up. As long as the artwork's fine, I can always change the cases afterwards. That doesn't bother me if the plastic on the cases is murky, because you can just buy new cases. Same with the PS2 as well. But yeah, I got myself a copy of Brute Force, which I personally like. I mean, I've always thought it's a decent little game. It doesn't have a good reputation. A lot of like professional reviewers tend to slag it off, but I've always found it to be quite a fun game. Never finished it, so I do need to do that. But yeah, it's a pretty decent little action game, so I'd recommend trying that one out. Next game I got for the Xbox, which I'm really glad to get, is the one Bond game that I don't have. I've got all of the games bar this one. Saw it on the shelf for £1.50 and I thought, I'm snagging that. So I'm really happy I did actually, because I was playing it yesterday. It's really good. And that is 007 from Russia with Love, the Connery game. So finally got it. I now have all of the Bond games, so very happy. And yeah, the Bond games are pretty decent this generation actually. I really like Nightfire, that's really cool. Everything or Nothing, the controls are a bit wonky, but it's alright once you get to grips with it. It's still a decent game. It's better when it first came out. I loved it when it first came out. Russia with Love is fantastic. I've never really given Russia with Love enough time, to be quite honest with you. I've only dabbled. I got a few levels in when I had it years ago. And I was playing it yesterday, and it looks really nice graphically, and the controls are really good as well. They seem to have gotten the third-person control pretty decent, unlike Everything or Nothing, where they're bloody awful. So that's really cool. And Agent Under Fire is the other one. I was trying to remember what it was called. I really like Agent Under Fire. I think graphically it's probably the weakest of all of the Bond games on the Xbox. It's very like it's not cel shaded, but it's sort of going in that direction. It's in that cartoony vein. But I really like the game. I think it's really fun. I played through it a while ago, a few months ago now. Completed it, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's a really, really fun game. It's not so much about the aiming, it's just about running and gunning, and it's really cool. And then of course you've got GoldenEye Reloaded. Got to keep doing that. It's not GoldenEye GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Christ, I get my GoldenEyes confused. Yeah, Rogue Agent, I think I said in the last video when I picked it up, it's not a great game, but I'll be honest with you, the funny thing is, when I was filming that video, because obviously I shoot the game, capture the gameplays afterwards, and I hadn't played it for a long time, and I know I like the game, but I always thought that graphically it was pretty shit and the game was pretty empty. But when I started playing it, I was like, actually, you know, it don't look that bad. And I watched the video back and I was like, no, it doesn't actually. It's actually aged all right. It's not a bad looking game at all. It's pretty basic, but yeah, it's quite a nice looking game and it still plays really well. It's really fun. But I think the best Bond games by far are Everything or Nothing, Agent Under Fire, Nightfire, and Russia with Love. And I would probably put, I mean, from what I've seen online, Nightfire is the one that's considered to be the best. And I think a lot of people like Everything or Nothing, so it's a bit of a tie between those two. So yeah, I mean, Nightfire is a really quality game. But yeah, anyway, very glad to have the Bond games all done and dusted. That's 2 more into the collection. So I'll go back over there. And we keep on rolling. And hopefully I will find some more Xbox as we go. So I'll just keep looking, you know, keep checking. Charity shops are crap down here. They don't have any games. They have DVDs and CDs. And I always check because I know Owen Labossu always checks those when he goes to his charity shops down in London. So he's a jammy sod though, he always finds all the best games. I find sod all in charity shops, I really do. I went to a car boot yesterday afternoon actually after we'd been over to these different shops. I was on the way back, we noticed the car boot was on. So we dropped to the car boot, but there was nothing in there. There was literally, the only game I found was an NBA game for the 360. So I was like, stuff it. But there is a different car boot that I've never been to that's on a Thursday. So at some point, I'm going to nip over there and have a look, see if it's any good. And then there's the big one out in Cheddar, which is on a Sunday morning, which was the one I used to go to years ago. And I'd find loads of bargains, and then it started drying up because everybody became aware of retro gaming and collecting, which was a real nightmare. But you know, I'm going to go back out. I haven't been there for well, more than 2 years now. It's got to be about 2.5, 3 years since I've been to Cheddar. So I need to nip over there on one Sunday morning and get over there early, see if I can find something. Because you never know, there's still people that clear out the houses and don't know what they've got and then have no idea that any of this stuff's worth money, so fingers crossed. Right, so that's the Xbox stuff. Next up, first of all, before we go into the rest of the games I picked up yesterday, I'm going to show the package that I picked up, which was the 2 games I won on auction on eBay. And they, just pop my drink over there because it's going to get in the way. These 2 games were on auction together as a bundle. And I saw them, no one bid on them, mainly because probably most people don't care about them, but for me, I really like them, and you'll see why in a minute. And they were cheap, so I thought, why not? And looking at the prices of these, well, I'm just going to tell you, it's PS1 games basically. Because I'm going to get a PS2, because I'm collecting for PS2 as well, you can play PS1 games on a PS2, can't you? So why not? It makes sense really, and there's a great library of games, and they're cheap. And as I say, I went into Insane Games yesterday, looked at the prices, they're not that different to what eBay prices are. So I'm just going to buy on eBay when I want a new PS1 game to play. One game I looked at yesterday was Asteroids. They wanted £3 for it in Insane Games. And I know if you buy it on auction, you can get it a little bit cheaper than that, like £2.5. So there's no point. Just, you know, go on eBay, buy the ones you want. Unless it's not the expensive games, then you have to, you know, look in the wild. But you had Crash Free. I think, yeah, it was Crash Free Warped, £15. I've not looked at the Crash games in a while, but I know there was, like, the first one shot up to like £40, and the second one went up, and I assume the third one went up. They're coming down a bit now on eBay, so maybe it's better. But anyway, the two games I won on auction, that's more important, are two Bond games. So you probably know what they are. So first up, really nice condition as well actually, is Tomorrow Never Dies. A game that I actually really, really like. In excellent condition, manual, disc, really lovely condition. They were both listed as being pretty much unplayed, and to be fair, they are. In the cases aren't particularly scratched or anything, so very chuffed that. I really like Tomorrow Never Dies. I've always enjoyed it since it came out, and it was only really, I think last year or something, I played it again, and I actually started to figure out what I was doing wrong and why I couldn't get very far in the game, and I got through quite a few missions, and it's actually a really fun game. The controls are a bit stiff, a bit awkward, but once you get the hang of it and you start playing the game and understanding the missions, it's actually really decent. There's some good little levels in there. The guns are really cool. I love the sound effects of the machine guns, sound really great. The graphics look nice, it's got beautiful colours in the game. You know, I mean, I actually love the PS1 era anyway. I mean, to me, it's like massive nostalgia. That's my teenage time. And the PS1, they're distinctive, the games, aren't they, really? They've got a distinctive look with the polygons, they've got a distinctive sounds of the games. You just know instantly it's a PS1 game. And I don't have a problem with those wonky 3D graphics either. I think they look fine. I've never been one that's looked at PS1 games and gone, oh, they look like shit, they've aged badly. I don't know, I think it's just the nostalgia and the memories and everything, and to me they still look as good as they did when I played them. So that's that one. This one is one I've always had a problem with, and I wanted to pick it up because I really want to try and play this game properly. And that is The World Is Not Enough, my favourite Pierce Brosnan film, by the way. Brilliant film. I know everyone says GoldenEye is the best one. No, it's not. World Is Not Enough is a better film than GoldenEye. Yeah. I don't have nostalgia, by the way. There you go. I didn't watch the Pierce Brosnan films when they came out. I only started watching them for the first time, I think, last year, year before, something like that. The first time I ever watched them all. And they were on ITV recently, so I watched them all. They were on one film every Saturday, so me and my dad watched them because my dad's never watched them, because he refused to watch them because he's not a big Bond fan. He likes Daniel Craig. He ain't asked about the rest. And I kept saying to him, you've got to watch the Pierce Brosnan films, they're actually decent. Except for Tomorrow Never Dies. Although, to be quite honest, the second time I watched it, when it was on TV the other week, I didn't think it was as bad as the first time I watched it. Just the villain's really shit. But yeah, anyway, that's going off on a tangent. So, I love Die Another Day. I know everyone slates it, but I love that film. I accepted the dumbness of it with the invisible car and the bloke with the diamonds on his face and all the stupidity of it. But I love the fact that they just went completely for the stupid comedy, and I really enjoy that film. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, so yeah, World Is Not Enough. There's two versions. There's the PS1 game, there's the N64 game, and this is the good old days when you used to get the same game on two systems and they're completely different experiences, you know. So on the N64, I really like World Is Not Enough. It follows the film pretty well. The level design is great, the sound effects are fantastic, and it's a lot of fun to play. The PS1 game, I've always gotten stuck at the beginning, and I've never been able to work out what I'm doing wrong. So I'm gonna have to watch a YouTube video, try and understand it more, because I really wanna play that game and see what it's all about, what the differences are to the N64 and how much better or worse it is. But I'm very much looking forward to it. So yeah, so there you go. So that's the first two PS1 games. There will be more. Don't know when, but there will be more. When I get my PS2, obviously I can play them on there, so that's really cool. And you can smooth them out, which is nice. So it's a bit of a bonus for you, not having to have both consoles at the moment. But you know me, in the future I will want a PS1, just because I've got a PS2, 3 and 4. I'll want a PS1, but we'll see. Right, next up is the PS2 games that I picked up yesterday. Bit of a mixed bunch, I'll be absolutely honest with you. You may wonder why the hell I picked up one of these games in particular, but then again, a lot of you won't, because you've been watching my channel for a while, so you'll understand why I picked it up. So with the PS2, I can't remember if I said in the last video, I can't remember if I said that I was going to just get exclusives, but PS2, I'm only buying exclusive games for the PS2, because all the third-party stuff I'll get on the Xbox, because in my opinion, as an Xbox fanboy of the time, the games look, play sound better on the Xbox, so I'm going to get those versions. So the PS2, I had one in 2000, got rid of it in 2001. Over the years, I've brought one back, and I've never really given it enough time, and I don't know a lot about the library. And looking online, it's hard to get a definitive list of the exclusive games on PS2. The games were coming out for like 10 years. Like the PS1, they really supported the system. So I had a look around, tried to find some lists. I think I asked in my previous video for someone to let me know if they knew where I could get a list. Ninja Bear Hug Stu recommended checking out Retro Collect, so thank you, Stu. I did that. Went on Retro Collect. You got a little button there you can put exclusives. So I went through there, picked out about 70 games, which was brilliant because there was games I knew of like the Time Crisis, the Smuggler's Run, Tekkens, all the games that I've played a million times. And there were a ton of games I've never heard of. So what I've done is I've just made a solid list, and I'm just taking that out with me when I'm out in the wild, and I'll just pick those games up when I see them for the right price. So that way it stops me buying anything that I don't want, be more focused. So as I say, it is me, and I'm going to buy the games that I like the look of and I know I'm going to play. And this first one, as I say, some of you will understand why I got it. Some of you, if you don't know me, will be like, what the bloody hell did you buy that for? Anyway, first game up is Britney's Dance Beat. So I'm not sure actually if you need a map for this, or if you just play the game, because I've never played it properly. I've owned it before, I've never played it. So I don't know if it's... Oh, actually, looking at the screen, I think it's one of those where you just tap the buttons in sequence, so that's pretty good then. I can actually play it, that's good. There you go. Lovely condition, really flat. I got this one from Insane Games. I think it was 50p, if I remember correctly. Now, if you don't know why I've picked this up, I'm a massive Britney Spears fan. I always have been since the beginning of Babe One More Time. So I always like to pick up anything Britney related. I've got like all her albums, I've got her Blu-rays, DVDs, everything that's been released, I've got it. So I love Britney, and I had to get the Britney Dance Beat game, even though it's probably shit, just because it's Britney, and why not, So yeah. Anyway, next up is a game I picked up, not realising at the time that there were two of these on the PS2. Because this is the thing, you see, you go online, as I say, I can't find a definitive list, so I'm not finding out exactly what's what. And I knew that one of these existed, and it was the one I was going to get because I looked at some gameplay, it looked great, it was a first-person shooter. And I picked this up yesterday, got home, realised it got a subtitle on the game, went online, found out there's actually two of the bloody things. So I've got to get the other one that I originally wanted when I find it. So this one is called, I'm going to get this right now. Yeah, Delta Force, Black Hawk Down, Team Sabre. And the other game that I thought this was is just called Delta Force, Black Hawk Down. So they are first-person shooters, as I say. So I thought, why not? You can't go wrong with a nice first-person shooter. Not as good as what the Xbox will do. The Xbox does better first-person shooting, but still, I am biased. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a try. You never know. I think this was another, was it 50p or a quid or something? It wasn't expensive at all. So yeah, I mean, I looked at some gameplay of this one to see how it compares to the first game. I think this is the sequel. I'm not sure. And pretty much more of the same. You just running around gunning terrorists down. So that'll do me fine, thanks. It's my kind of game. Next two I got are two absolutely great games. PS2 games that when the PS2 and I had one back in the day, I just sat and played a lot. One in particular was a launch title which I absolutely loved. So first up, game that's on the Dreamcast, and in my opinion, if you use the controller without the mouse and the keyboard, just the controller plays like shit on the Dreamcast, but plays really well on the PS2. You probably guessed it, it's Quake 3. Love my arena shooters. I can't play modern multiplayer, but I do like an arena shooter. And this one is absolutely, look at that spanking condition. Absolutely brilliant. Question I got, guys, for you PS2 guys, this one's got a black case. I've seen it with a blue case on eBay as well. Did they switch up the cases and they had some black, some blue? Or were they all blue and somebody's put them in a DVD case? I mean, I'm looking at this, I think it is an official, yeah, it's an official one, it's got a memory card holder in it. So that, I'm assuming, is a legitimate case. I kind of like uniformity, and I might change it to a blue case at some point, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what the situation is. Is it in the correct case or not? Next PS2 game is a launch title. Game I absolutely love, an arcade classic. I've never played it in the arcade, unfortunately, but one that I really, really like a lot, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. Now, I know I said I was going to buy exclusives. It kind of is in its own way. I'll explain why. Well, probably won't need to, but it is Silent Scope. Fantastic title. Now, of course, on the Xbox, there you go, there is Silent Scope Complete, which is, as far as I'm aware, the 3 games in one package. On the PS2, all 3 games were released separately. So they're not technically exclusive because you can buy them on the Xbox, but I kind of like the fact that you've got the 3 separate games. So yeah, I'm going to buy 2 and 3 if I find them in the wild. They're not expensive. I say these are like 50p. That was 50p from cash converters. So, you know, if I find 2 and 3 for a 50p or a pound, why not pick them up and have the trilogy? It don't really matter, does it? I'll still get Silent Scope Complete for the Xbox because I want it. But that's the only exception really. Other than that, everything's exclusive on the PS2. Right, and then finally, so nice bit of variety in this one. It makes a change, doesn't it? I picked up some PS3 titles when I was in CEX, which is nice. So I've only got a few PS3 games I want to get now. There's like a small. You can't see my PS3 games, can you? Hang on. No, they're down there. Down there. I haven't got a shitload. I've got about 40 or so, I think. Maybe a little bit less than that. So there's a few that I want to get. I've got a small list. I basically went on CEX, priced them all up online just so I know what they're going to cost me. And then I'll just get them when I can. So, first one up is an essential, a game I've played to death over and over and over and over again since it came out. One of the greatest games on the system by far. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. I've got the first 2, so I had to grab the first 2. I got the other 2, 1 and 3. So I had to grab number 2. Finally got it. I keep seeing it in the bloody Platinum Edition. And she tried to palm me off yesterday with an Essentials, which I think is American anyway. So I said, no, I think that's an American disc, love. So she swapped it out for a proper disc. Nice condition as well. I mean, these PS3 games, they're dirt cheap now. They're not expensive. And I'm just going to buy a ton of like brand new Blu-ray cases. You can get like 25 cases for £8. So, you know, why not? And I'll just swap them all out and have them in nice clean cases again. So I'm just going to make sure I've got all the games I want, then I'll do it. So I got that. Next one is a brilliant third-person action game, which I managed at the time when it came out. I love this game. I thought it was really good. I got really far through, at least 3/4 of the way, and then I got stuck because I ran out of ammunition and couldn't work out how to progress in the game, unfortunately. But that is Bionic Commando. I really like this. I think it's a cracking game. Graphically looks fantastic. Plays really well. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, and the manual falls out. The swing mechanic works really well. So yeah. And I did really well. They're in really nice condition. They're all clean. Even actually, to be fair, even the cases aren't that bad on these. Sometimes the cases can be really grimy. So that's why I always like it in CEX with PS3 stuff and 360 and everything. They tend to have several copies, so you can just rifle through and find the best one. Last game I got for you guys is a sports title, weirdly enough. This was 50p, so why not? And I really wanted it anyway, it's on my list. And it is Virtua Tennis 3. Never played this version of the game, but I used to love playing Virtua Tennis on my Dreamcast when I had one. So I thought, well, you know, it's probably more of the same, hopefully. It's got Federer on the front, which is cool, Nadal. So yeah, I'll give it a try, see how we get on. If it's just the same arcade experience, then it's going to be great because I really enjoyed the first 2 games on the Dreamcast. So there you go, guys. That's it. That's the latest additions. Pretty good mixture of games across a broad range of systems, which is nice. The Xbox collection continues to grow. I've got a lot of Xbox games to get. I say I've made lists because that way I don't get sidetracked. I know exactly what I want to buy and what I don't want. I'm only buying games I'm going to play. Logical. And the Xbox, I think there's about just over 100 or so I want to find. It's going to take me a while, and I am just going to pick them up in the wild. I'm not going on eBay for them. The only eBay purchases I think I'll do is the PS1, just because it just makes sense. If of course I'm out of the car boot and by some miracle people have nice PS1 games for like 50p and a pound, not very likely, but if I do find any bargains, of course I'm going to pick them up and show you. But for the most part, I think I'll go on eBay because it just makes sense really, comparative to the one shop I can actually find them in down here. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to reading your comments down below, and I'll see you in my next video.